All right. Welcome back. You're listening to Softcore Detachment, the podcast where soft hearts grow sharp boundaries and healing gets gloriously unhinged. I'm your host, Catalina, recovering perfectionist, certified chaos gremlin, and softcore CEO of Emotional Detachment. With me, as always, Miss Jonnie, producer, partner in crime, defender of boundaries, and professional glow-up baddie.
I'm her. She's me.
She's me. All right, girl. Let's get messy.
Let's do it.
And it's going to get messy because we have our first ever guest on the podcast. Woo! Miss Chloe, the Chloe. The Chloeinator.
Hello,
hello.
That is her. She is her. And we are so excited to have Miss Chloe. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, wonderful. So here's what we've got going on. This episode is all about the unshakable sense of self. And I think that Chloe is a wonderful representative to have because she is 100% authentically the Chloe, Miss Chloe. I'm not sure if she was born that way or if it's something that she has built over time. So that's what we're going to discuss today, is how she shows up as herself, where this self-confidence came from, and how do we get some of this for ourselves. Sound good, ladies?
Yes, Chloe, I need it.
I got you guys.
All right, let's do this. All right, so I think we're going to start our segment number one, the myth of embarrassment, because this is kind of where it all started. As we were leaving the gym one day, Chloe said to me, and I don't remember where it came from. It was kind of an out-of-pocket comment. She said, if I had the capacity to feel embarrassed, I might feel embarrassed right now. So tell me a little bit about that, Chloe. Are you saying that you do not feel embarrassed?
Not in the way that people describe it, right? Like when I'm observing people around me and when they, X, Y, Z happens, and then my friend will kind of lean in and be like, "Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I feel like I want to crawl in a cave." And I'm like, "Bro, why? Because your skirt was in your underwear." People are welcome for this very decent exposure. Like it's always like a situation where I'm like, how does your mind not immediately flip this for you? Like you immediately went internal and like start shaming yourself to where you feel this like really bad emotion. And then some people I've also noticed around me can get angry when they experience it. And so I've also noticed like I'll be out and about and someone trips. And then you're like, "Oh my gosh, are you okay?" And they're immediately like, "Don't touch me, don't help me, I'm fine."
Oh,
And you're just like, "No worry, you fall so gracefully." Like that is the best fall in 2025 I have ever seen.
You nailed that.
God.
Yeah, 10. Discount.
Killed it. But they get angry, and so like my immediate response is like, how can I make this less of whatever you're feeling? How can I help in that? Because like I have those moments. I have tripped in front of people. I have fallen down the stairs. In college, I remember falling downstairs and busting and having to walk through all of campus in a skirt with blood going down my legs and just kind of being like, well, that's my life, right? Like, this is it. Welcome.
Welcome to the show.
Right. What doesn't occur to me is what other people think about this. Like what story, as people are passing me and they're looking at me like, it does not even occur to me what stories they could be having in their head. Whereas like maybe the other people are immediately very self-aware of what could possibly be being said about them. And I could absolutely care less. Right?
Okay, I see what's going on. Okay, so you've got bigger fish to fry. That's just like on the totem pole of life. That's pretty low down on what you're concerned and worried about.
Absolutely.
You know what I struggle with? Like the way I react or respond to something, and then later I'm embarrassed and I'm like, oh, I handled that so poorly.
Interesting.
Oh, you play it back.
Okay.
Oh, forever. It like never stops. Oh, yeah.
So I should have done this differently. I could have handled that better. I can't believe I said that kind of thing.
Can't believe that this is my life now. Can't believe I reacted that way. Seriously, I will play it back and I'm like in shame and I'm like, oh, it's terrible.
Interesting.
I think it's normal to kind of be like, oh, I could have done that maybe a little bit. I do have moments where I'm like, shucks, girl. probably
Yeah.
not your not the best moment, but that it's as simple as that, and then filing it away, and then probably even in order for me to remember it, somebody would have to be like, hey, remember that one time like you got pretty worked up about this really tiny thing, like having the wrong Skittles flavor when you said tropical and we got original, and it's like, oh wow, that sucks. Like I, sorry, I guess I could have handled it better. What I also don't experience is playing that back and like remembering it and being able to recall it and like think about it more than maybe just that one time.
Okay.
Which I think that one might be anxiety, which all of those are self-conscious, right? Like
Yes.
very self-conscious feelings, I feel like.
You know what's interesting, and this ties into that I've talked to with a lot of people recently, is do you have a very intense inner dialogue, Chloe?
I mean, not like I do, but like in a like I wake up in the morning and I'm like looking good. Like not even like I
Another
hate to
day
say
being
that.
Chloe.
People, right? Like people are just like, Chloe, that sounds so arrogant. And I'm like, how, what do you wake up and they're like, I look in the mirror and I'm like, all right, well, like that sucked. No, I look in the mirror and I'm like, all right,
That's
let's go.
fabulous.
She's like,
I love that.
fly. I love it.
Yeah, feeling
Right,
great,
but
looking
if
fly.
you don't, who is? Like, who is responsible for that for you?
Yeah.
God, I love that energy. I'm totally here for it. And it's true
I
because
gotta hype
our
you up.
inner dialogue is the source of our anxiety, right? I
Absolutely.
think I have a complete theory, and I would love to like go back in college and write a thesis on this, that people without an inner dialogue do not experience anxiety because they're not ruminating back on what they did, what they said, what's going to happen in the future. They're not anxious about stuff like that. There's nothing there. And I think it's more common for men to not have an inner dialogue than women, although it's, you know, it happens. I don't want to generalize. And so if your inner dialogue is just your biggest hype man and you're like, oh yeah, we're looking great. We have a great day ahead of us. It's going to be fine. Whoops, messed that up. But we learn, we move forward. Then we're doing fine. Like that's the way to live through life. Am I right?
You know, there's a funny story, and I'll tell it kind of quick. Um, you guys both know I've been married, and at my wedding day, we played the shoe game. So, you know, like the bride and the groom each get one of each person's shoe. And the last question of the game was, who do you love more? Right? And like everyone in the room, we had like 75, 80 people. Everyone in the room is anticipating the groom to hold up my shoe and me to hold up his shoe, and like, what a cute ending, and blah, blah, blah. I have this on video. He, on cue, holds up my shoe. He is stating, I love her more. It's adorable. It's so cute for you. I'm also holding up my shoe. And it took no time for me to be like, and everyone's
She
laughing.
says, I
Everyone's
love
like,
me.
right, I love me. I love me. I am number one. I would, no matter what, I don't care who I'm hooked with for the rest of my life. I don't care what this looks like. I'm gonna love me. And that is so unfortunate that you put my shoe up. And I am so sorry how embarrassing this must be for everybody else. I am also not embarrassed for this answer. And a lot of people did ask me after the wedding, they're like, Chloe, was that rehearsed? That was so funny. No.
Mm-mm.
I didn't
No.
know the questions beforehand.
That's
That
just
was
who
not
I am.
it never occurred to me that the correct, right, the answer everyone in the room was looking for was love, and you know I'm supposed to hold someone else's shoe up. No, what? I was born with me.
Yeah. Yeah. You're the one living in the
Day
body.
one.
You're the one that's got to wake up and go to sleep every day in there. Let me ask you, how does this fit in to the different sizes that you've lived in your body? I know that you have had an amazing weight loss journey as an adult. Did you always feel that
Yeah.
confident in every size body that you've been in?
That is such a funny question. So, for context, I've had weight loss surgery. You know, I've done retatrutide to help maintain. I'm now 155 pounds. I used to be over 400 pounds, right? So, like, huge
Amazing.
shift in weight.
Wow.
But unfortunately, the answer is I have always been this way. Anyone who's ever met me can tell you whether I was over 400 pounds or under 155, like it's always been that personality. On my, you know, when I was getting married, I think I was 380 when I got engaged, and 350 on around my wedding time, right?
So
And
when you
so
held
like
up that shoe at 350, you were like, me.
beefy arms and all. Me? What do you mean? What do you mean? You don't love yourself more? But like, it's so funny because some
Yes.
of the old people at the wedding were like, in order for this to work, you have to put, the other person first.
Mm.
How about 1.5? How about like runner up?
Right, right.
How am I supposed to take care of that person if I'm still not taking care of myself? Because all I hear from all of my friends, everyone who's a little older than me or been married a little longer, when her cup runs out, they can't keep going for other people. They can't keep going for their kids or even their dogs. They can't show up. They're laying in bed. They're sad. Like my cup has to be the priority no matter what. And I've learned that in every situation.
So well said. Dang, girl. I love everything about this. That is absolutely perfect. One of the things we're hearing about a lot right now is the women who have built men up at their own expense, created these like amazing men who are successful now from nothing, and then the men leave them, right? Because now they've leveled up and they leave the girl who was always there for them, who built them up at their own expense, and then they leave them. And then these women are left with the shell of what's left of themselves after pouring so much of themselves into these men. And I think that that speaks loads to what you're saying, where it's like, no, always pour into your own cup first, and then you can take care of the people around you. But you should always be number one, period.
When the
And don't be
mask
holding down a
falls and the
man.
airplane goes down, you got to put your mask on first. So just keep
100%.
that in
That's why they
mind.
say that. That's why
Chloe,
they
would
say
you
that.
ever be embarrassed if you were arrested?
Ooh,
Ooh,
okay, that's so interesting.
I love
I
this.
I guess like, are we defining
I
the
know she's
difference
like, it depends
between,
on what my mugshot looks like.
like, do I look like really good? I don't know. What is the difference between embarrassment and shame? Because I do feel like there are moments in my life where I can look at them and I can, kind of look back and say, I am not proud of that. I'm actually
Okay,
kind of
it's more
ashamed.
shame.
I
Okay.
think I
And
would
there's a
feel
good
ashamed.
distinction. That's an important distinction, right? You can be
Yeah.
ashamed of your behavior versus embarrassed, you know, that you did something or said something out of pocket.
Mm-hmm.
How, like, I guess to Joni's point though, like almost those feelings probably feel very similar.
Very
I'm
much.
not
Yeah.
gonna hide it though, because man, that is public record. Right? Like, we're gonna have to address the elephant in the room, I guess. But I think I would feel ashamed, not embarrassed, but I think I would feel ashamed for sure.
Great question.
Okay.
That's a
Great
good
question.
question.
Okay. So if you had to tell our listeners what are some softcore strategies that they can put into practice to develop this unshakable sense of self that you seem to have just been born with?
I have so many because I actually was just asked this by one of my friends not that long ago, and she struggles with anxiety and
Mm-hmm.
like very insanely self-critical, and no matter how far she comes, what I find interesting is it's never good enough for her, right?
Mm.
She also had weight loss surgery and has lost a ton of weight and has gone through life-changing things and almost brink of divorce and then come back and so some of the things that I tell people first of all, become aware of the things that you say to yourself about yourself. Are these things you would allow somebody else to
To
say about
say.
you?
Or that you would say about other people, right? Because most people would
Right.
never talk to their friends or family like that, but they talk to
Ever.
themselves like that.
First thing, become aware of them. And I would even take it a step further. Don't just become aware, because I'm someone that'll become aware of something and then do nothing with that information. Write it down, record it in some sort of way. Grab out your iPhone, put it in your notes app, whatever you got to do. Become aware of it, and become aware in a point that you can count how many times you said that to yourself in a day. And now let's
Hmm.
then do that for a while and then start replacing those thoughts, right? Now start saying something that counteracts that really negative thought about yourself. What was so bad about it? Challenge it, pinpoint it. Do you really think that person's run off and is living in that moment for the next hour or two and is thinking about it? No, they probably not even thinking that you said hey instead of hello. Become aware of the things you say to yourself. Track that in some way and let's start mitigating it, right?
Let's
Like
start
let's start
challenging it.
adding positive behaviors, right? Because
Okay.
I mean, what is an embarrassing moment that happened for you guys? And like, let's try to flip the script on the story,
Well, you
right?
brought this one up. We talked about it in the second episode when that grown ass man at the gym went to go give me a dab, and I went to go shake his hand, and I ended up grabbing his fist and then going like this. And I was very embarrassed by that. Like, you flipped it around.
Embarrassing moment.
Yeah, and you said, why is a grown ass man dapping you at the gym? Like, he should have shook your hand like a grown up, you know? And I didn't even think of it that way. I'm like, that was his issue, not mine. He's a grown up. He should have shaken my hand. Right?
And that, like, right there is the first, like, if you're experiencing embarrassment, flip the script and ask yourself, is this mine to own?
Mm.
In your case, I would argue maybe not yours to own.
No.
I if anything, 50-50. Both of you walk away with, could have done better, maybe. File that one away. Shucks. We'll get it next time.
We'll get it
make a
next
dance
time.
of it.
Next time it'll be the opposite. I'll go to dab, he'll go to shake, and it's like, damn it, not this time. All right.
But I would still just file that under, wow, what a funny moment in my life. Like, I wish there was a camera. Like, it would never be filed under, oh my God, that was so embarrassing.
Right.
I'm never going to think about that again.
Totally fair. Totally fair. Now, what if it's something like you're bringing up some points that are much more serious, you know, like, you know, you've made a mistake that landed you, you know, in serious trouble with a partner, significant other, with the law, or with, you know, with family and friends and different things like that. So, you know, what if we're talking about much more serious things than a handshake at the gym?
I think that's not, gosh, again, like, I would love to have like a psychologist. What is the difference between embarrassment and shame? Because I think Jonnie kind of touched on that, and now it's like living in my head a little. I think you almost feel it in the same way. One, maybe you're willing to hide a little bit, and the other one you'll try to like laugh off. I don't
Reframe
know.
maybe, and maybe give an explanation as to why you did what you did and justify it perhaps.
Yeah, both
Yeah.
really self-conscious emotions, but people may handle them very differently. I do
Mm.
experience shame. I can look back on things and, you know, like I failed, you know, in college, I failed math the first time I tried. Even though I got like almost a 32 on my ACT, you would have thought that never would have happened. But I failed math and had to take a second remedial math class in college. I'm
Hmm.
able to admit that. I'm not your girl for math. Don't call me if your kid needs help. That is not what I'm for. I'm not the friend for that one. But am I super happy and like, oh my God, I failed math? No, but like I don't feel great about it. I don't it's not something that I want to super boast, but it's something that I can still confidently talk about, but I'm not super happy that I don't know how to explain it. But that's how I experience shame. I'm not super happy that that was what went down, but that's what went down.
But
I
it just
feel
is what
good.
it is. It's not a huge defining part of your life. It kind of was what it was. You learned what you needed to learn and you move forward.
And we're gonna have to go on.
Yeah.
We're
And
gonna
somehow we're going to
like
have to move forward.
like when you're waiting for your grades to drop and you're like, man, Chloe, not the brightest. Maybe we're just better at art. I don't know.
That's not true. You're in a science-based profession. You're incredibly smart.
Also almost failed art history. So to your point, that wasn't even a great example. I could pass sociology, could pass psychology. I'm not gonna lie. I should be ashamed of this one. Again, maybe I don't even feel shame the way you're supposed to. I'm starting to realize the more I talk about it openly with you two, I probably don't experience shame correctly, maybe because
Mm.
I cheated on my art history. Let's throw it out there. I cheated on that final. I don't think I
Oh
need
my
to know what
gosh.
genre Van Gogh was chilling in. I don't care.
Oh, it's all becoming clear. I see what's going on.
You know, mine is, now that we are talking about it, I was trying to think of something to tell you when I've been embarrassed, and the pendulum has swung way in the other direction for me. Mine's shame, and mine are serious matters that are a big deal, and it's the
Yeah.
way that I've reacted and responded to trauma in my life, and how hurt comes out as anger, and it has made some pretty defining moments that are shameful for me that I clearly am not proud of and am still, you know, ruminating over and wish I wasn't, but it's just a matter of fact that it's something I have to and am slowly detaching from to learn how to live with it as part of what happened with me, not to me, but with me in my life. rather than
Well
what is
said.
defining me as a human being and as a woman. It's something that I have to learn to put one foot in front of the other for. So maybe not, oh, my shirt was on backwards and I walked around Target. I don't really care. I really don't. Tripping and falling, I really don't care. Mine is more shame of things
Yeah.
that are serious. And
These
serious
big life
things happen
things.
to people like us every single day. And if you think it can't happen to you, something pretty serious, or you can find yourself facing something that maybe you never thought was possible in your life, don't discount that for 1 second, because that's
Right.
actually not true.
Any one of us can be put into one of those situations, and you may or may not react the way that you thought you would.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And so it's shame. It's mine's shame.
Yeah. And to
That
your
is
point,
the one.
Joni, I think that as you said, you don't have to internalize that as your this is who I am now. And that doesn't become your unshakable sense of self. It was a part of your story. It's not the whole story. It's not even the whole chapter. And how you choose to learn from it and move on, that's where you take your control back. That's where you choose who you are and how you move forward.
Yeah, and I
Can I
think a part of
challenge
like
it though?
well,
Go
having
for it,
the
Chloe.
yeah, go ahead.
Can I challenge that though? I do have moments in my life, dark ones, that I look at and I'm like, oh, I could have done more for myself, probably the other person. Relationships, friendships, they break off. I
Yeah.
could have. There are ugly times, and you stuff it in the closet, and you're like, ooh, that is not. That's a dark one. That's a dark one. I still challenge shame because it's still in the way embarrassment is. I feel like we're taking it and we're saying that there is cognitively or societally a projected better way to handle something. And who decides that the way you reacted was wrong and could have been handled better? Your reaction is still a valid experience, and you reacted the way you reacted for a reason. And I think becoming okay with why you handled something the way you did still like puts a little power, right? Like, yeah, probably could have handled it better, but I reacted the way I reacted because that's who I am. And maybe there's room for improvement on that, but I've been through some shit, right? And Joni, I've heard a little bit about your life. And I think you got to take your power back on some of this and say, I've been through some things and I reacted the way I reacted to protect myself. And maybe it's not my shiniest moment, but I'm allowed not shiny moments.
Ooh.
I'm allowed my shiny moments.
Ooh, so that reframing. That's
Damn.
the Chloe. I'm going to call it the
Reframe
Chloe
it.
energies. I'm
There's the
reframing.
reframing.
Right.
Yeah.
Detaching a little bit from the weight of shame
Yeah.
that can literally feel like you're dragging bricks behind you every single day if you don't embrace the Chloe energy.
Well, and these expectations, like you said, of society and these, movies and just all these other things of like how you're supposed to react in these impossible situations. And it was what it was. And people do what they do. And then you learn and you move on. And you need to reconcile that with who you are and love
And
yourself,
Joni,
period.
you kind of framed it. If there's anything anyone should take away from this is how many bricks are you going to drag behind you until you're willing to look back and say, I got to start dealing with some of that. This
Yeah.
feels heavy, feels like
Yeah.
a lot. It starts to feel like a chip on your shoulder. And how many of those bricks, big or small, are you going to drag behind you? And regardless of how I would deal with it, or, Kat, how you would deal with it, Joni, you're your own person. You're going to deal with things differently because your roads looked different than mine or anyone else's. Still a valid experience. Your initial reaction still gets to be valid. Who's decided where the bar is on our reactions and how we handle things? I think we're projecting what we think it's supposed to be, and that makes us feel even a little worse. So I think anyone who's got a brick behind them, take a look at it, try to reframe it. Doesn't mean there's not room for improvement. I am not saying that. I'm not saying there's not room for improvement. Everyone's got it. Everyone's got some betterness out there. Seek that, do what you will with it, but doesn't mean you didn't do great. To
Yeah.
some scale, to
Give
some
yourself
bar.
some grace. Give yourself some grace there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Well
For
said,
sure.
Chloe. Very well said. Well, ladies, wow. This was amazing. Believe it or not, we're at like 25 minutes.
You're welcome,
And
world.
this was an effortless conversation. I think we could easily do a part 2 on this one.
Absolutely.
I think it's safe to say that there's a fine line and a lot of interwoven feelings between shame and embarrassment. And there's a big difference between tripping over yourself at Target versus how you react in very real, very difficult, life situations. And I think you guys did a great job of breaking that down and bringing some very real personal experiences into this conversation. So thank you for being so candid on that, Jonnie and Chloe. You guys are amazing. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Any last thoughts you want to leave us with, ladies?
Just be kind to yourself, be graceful, try to reframe it, try to be aware of the mean things you say to yourself, because it sounds like maybe we all aren't the nicest, and I don't know, put it on somebody else maybe. Maybe go be critical elsewhere. Like,
there you go.
Okay, if you shake someone's hand like this, that's a doorknob. That's fine. That's not the worst.
Yeah. I think we can all let that one go. And if you were genuinely horrifically hurt in your life and you didn't react in a way that you thought you could have handled that better, maybe you can also put a little bit of that shame and blame somewhere else too, because there were two people tangoing in that dance right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe 3.
Oh shit.
Maybe 1 didn't belong.
Episode 2.
Tune in next week. Oh, ladies, I got so much love and affection for you. Thank you. I really cannot imagine how people didn't get something wonderful out of this episode. I know that I did, and I am grateful for you ladies, truly. Self-love is one of the most valuable things that we can do for just not just ourselves, but what we learned here is for everybody else around us too. Pour into your own cup first, and be careful how you talk to yourself, because that's a voice you're going to have to listen to from the morning you wake up in the first thing in the morning all the way through to the end of the night. Is that right? Yeah. Be nice with how you talk to yourself.
Oh yeah.
All right, ladies, I think we're going to cap it here, and I think it's safe to say we can probably do an episode 2 of this guest spot, because it was effortless and easy and oh so much fun. Thank you, Chloe, for joining us. Needless to say, this is one of those examples where we are not professional podcasters, and this is the second time we've attempted this. So thank you for your patience, and I'm really glad it worked out this time. We made it happen.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been fun.
Absolutely. All right. Ladies, thank you so much. And to our listeners, thank you. We appreciate you. We're actually gaining a little bit of traction, as we found out, apparently in South Africa. Yes. We are number 73 in the health and wellness podcast spot. So thank you for everybody who's listening across the globe. We did not see that coming. But thank you so much to our friends and family who just continue to support us. And to any new listeners, this is the kind of stuff we're trying to move toward. We never would have had this kind of opportunity without you guys giving us those first couple likes and shares. So thank you. Until next time, stay soft, stay sharp, and be unshakable in your sense of self. All right? We love you in all your light and all your darkness. Thank you, guys.
Thought that I would be a bit at peace by now. Yeah, you're lying in the shadows of my room. Oh, always heard your voice, I forget the sound now. You're awfully quiet while I cry.